Well, hi y'all, this is Ginger with Ginger Snap Thrifting. It is a cold, drizzly, dreary day here in Northeast Texas. And let me tell you about cold, dreary days. I grew up in Northeast Texas, but my husband and I, for work reasons, moved down to the Gulf Coast in Galveston County, Texas, when my kids were just starting to go to school. They were I think my oldest was in first grade. We moved down there, and I never liked the Gulf Coast. I never committed to being at the Gulf Coast, but you know, almost 40 years later, I still found myself on the Gulf Coast. My daughter's daughter graduated high school, and she said, I'm going back to Northeast Texas. My older kids spent a lot of summers up here, and they loved it. So I was on the Gulf Coast long enough that when it got rainy and humid and drizzly and stuff in the fall, which is what fall and winter is down there in Galveston County, it started feeling like Christmas to me. So when the weather's like this, it feels like Christmas. Now I'm slowly getting acclimated. I've been back up here in Northeast Texas for 5 years now, and now it has to be rainy weather for me to, cold weather for me to feel like it's Christmas. So it's cold, it's dreary, it's rainy, it's drizzly. And so here we are. So I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving holiday, and y'all, it's the season to be jolly. So I've been out thrifting. I want to show y'all my sweater. Several years ago, I went to a Goodwill or someplace, and someone must have got rid of all their ugly Christmas sweaters, and they were all in my size, and I bought them all up. So I've got this one, which is like Jack Skellington or somebody, my grandkids could tell you. And I've got one that looks like gangster penguins. I've got one that's a tree made out of mustaches. I've just got a bunch of them. So I pull these out every year, Thanksgiving weekend, and I wear them nonstop through the day, Christmas Day, and then they get packed up again for next year. Well, something else I love are my earrings, y'all. And you see I have my snowman earrings on. I thought they kind of worked with this sweater today. Y'all know I love earrings. I love Christmas earrings. And let me tell you, I went to a thrift shop and I hit the jackpot. So look at here what I found. These are not Christmas earrings. They're clip earrings and they look like a wreath. I just thought they were cool. But look at these stars, y'all. And look, they're the same color on both sides, which you don't always see in an earring. So if they flip around, they still have the same design. These are bells. Now let me tell you, I got 3 other pairs of assorted Christmas bell earrings, but I always have room for more bell earrings. And then this says it's the most wonderful time of the year. These are like cricket earrings, and they have the same design on the back again. And that's just, to me, that's a sign of a better quality earring. And I got some pins. I got this little reindeer with holly. This is a little candy cane. This is a little dangly bell, and it rings. And then look, y'all. Here's Snoopy being Joe Cool. Isn't he cute? And it's a pin too. And I don't wear a lot of pins, but I'm going to make that Christmas tree sweatshirt. And I'll show y'all. They'll be on my what I did with it videos. Maybe I'll even show y'all me doing it. We'll see. But this is a real busy time of the year, so I don't always have time to get everything together, but I'll do my best. All right, so, you know, I always got to look at the books. Y'all, I graduated high school in 1976, and our little high school had a wonderful typing and shorthand teacher named Miss Sharon Turley, and she taught me typing and shorthand, and I took that then in college, and I actually was very fast. But I always have to get these shorthand books when I see them. This is probably a high school shorthand book. Let's see. Shorthand Simplified. No, Federal Institute, a professional school of business in Tyler, Texas. I bet it's not there anymore. But look, here was somebody's homework on the shorthand paper. I filled lots and lots of steno books up with shorthand, y'all. Lots of them. And then this is Speed Writing Shorthand, another little book. You know, these probably came from the same person. They donated them to this thrift store, and I snapped them right up. This belonged to Frankie Bryan. Frankie Bryan, if you're out there, hi. Here's something dated January 13th, 1965. And then a cookbook. I think I already picked up one of these. Home Economics Teacher Bicentennial Cookbook. I know I picked up one of these, and I couldn't stand to put it out in my shop, so I kept it. So this one will be going in my shop, y'all. And those old cookbooks, man, they have some, if you just take the time to go through them, they have some killer recipes. All right. I saw this. I went, and I rushed over to look at it, and it was exactly what I thought it was, and I snapped it right up too. Y'all look. Y'all look at this. Look at this old Remington typewriter. Still got a piece of paper. I bet that piece of paper was put in there way back when in the day. And it works. It jams up a little bit. It needs to be cleaned. It needs to be oiled. The carriage works. Did any of y'all learn to type on these? I did, let me tell you. They were a mess to type on. Y'all remember we had to take the white out, the little tubes of, looked like nail polish, but it was white. You had to dab very carefully, or you had to try and erase without erasing a hole through your paper. Erase your mistake. Man, that was a thing. And when they made typing corrector ribbon, that was the most wonderful thing, because you could lay that little white ribbon over your mistake, and you could hit that same mishit key, and it would just erase it. It was like magic. It was wonderful. But even though we had a way to correct, that did not stop the typing teachers from, with their eagle eyes, from seeing where we had corrected and giving us a demerit for that. So I'm gonna clean this thing up. I so wish I had room in my house to display it, but I really don't. But I know someone out there does. They'll be super excited to have this old vintage Remington typewriter. Let me show y'all again. Y'all look at these keys. You don't see these typewriters too often, because it got real popular to rob the keys off and turn them into jewelry. They turned them into earrings and necklaces and bracelets. And so they just stripped these old things down. But you know, the journalists from the past, the book writers, the magazine article authors, they did their work on these, y'all. My grandma used to type me letters on an old typewriter. And you know, she wasn't the best typist, but she felt like it was a little classier than handwriting it. And then she'd sign it. She'd sign it in her loopy penmanship. Love Grandma. Love Grandma Jones. So I just love old typewriters, y'all. And I know other people do. All right, this was fun. I was in another thrift store. Y'all know the little red truck? This is the little green truck. It's metal. And the little bed is made out of wood. And it needs to have something cutesy put in there. This young man was walking around in the Christmas display looking for a place to set it, and I said, "Are you looking for some place to set that?" And he said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "Well, how about my cart?" And I snapped it up. I sure did. I put it in my cart, and I'm excited, y'all. This is gonna go on my dining room table with a little floral thing, maybe a little LED candle. It's gonna look cute for the holidays, y'all. All right, what else do we have? Y'all remember last year I told you I love cardinals? My mama loved cardinals. I found some cardinal mugs. Now I've surely got plenty of mugs, but these are just so pretty. Peace and Mary, y'all. Aren't these beautiful? And they're nice and big, heavy duty mugs. They're very nice. They'd be great for a floral display, or heck, I'm gonna drink me a big old mug of hot chocolate or hot tea or something out of them. Just so pretty. And the piece is embossed. The cardinal's not, but the piece is embossed, and so is the Mary. Just really pretty, nice. You know, they're made in China, I'm sure. I can't read it. But pretty nice cardinals. I love cardinals. My mama loved cardinals. I have bird feeders in my yard, and every winter the cardinals just flock in, and we just keep them filled up to take care of the cardinal babies, y'all. Okay. Show y'all that last. we're gonna pause here because I want to move this big box out. Well, okay, y'all, this is a really nice little wine glass. I got a set of 4 of these, and we are going to be using them in a Christmas gift that my husband's working on, and I'll be showing y'all. Now, it's getting quite popular to do videos on thrifted Christmas gifts, and I do thrifts for Christmas, some, you know, here and there. So I've got a few things I've thrifted, and I'll probably have a few more, and so that will be my Christmas Day video, y'all. I will show y'all the things I thrifted and their people's reactions when they open them, and I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. It's probably gonna be a short video, but it's gonna be a fun video, y'all. So make sure you check in with me on Christmas. Okay, now this is a Fostoria divided relish tray, relish bowl. It's very nice. It doesn't have any chips or cracks on it. There's a lot of Fostoria collectors out there, y'all, and I know somebody will be tickled to pick that up. You know, the fancier little pieces like that are a little bit harder to find. People go for the big platters and things, but the little things, they like think they're gonna pick it up later or whatever, and they don't. You know, it happens. Okay, this is a 70s and 80s amber platter or plate, and it is made by the Durant company, I believe. The Crystal d'Arcs. It's a French maker, and so this is a very collectible plate. Amber glass is getting really popular right now. Now this, I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see this, and it is sprinkling on me, y'all. It's getting a little wet. This Google Lens tells me it's uranium glass. It's got a real pale green look. It is a vintage plate. I don't have a black light, but I have ordered one so that in the future I'll be able to show y'all. But this is just a pretty collectible pressed glass plate. Maybe uranium glass. Do y'all know what that is? Uranium glass is that glass you see in the antique stores. They usually have black lights shining on it, and it glows like neon green and stuff. It's really pretty. This is Hazel Atlas. This is an amber relish dish. Not a relish dish, I'm so sorry. A celery dish, y'all. And I got 2 of them. 2 of these. And so I don't know if they were intended to put celery in, or if they're called celery dishes because they're kind of a long, narrow dish. I have seen things called celery dishes that look like a square vase. I don't understand celery dishes. I haven't really researched it. I probably need to. But anyway, Hazel Atlas, amber glass, y'all. And then this, I forget the maker. It's another divided, like a little relish dish or something. You see it's pretty small. And I think this is called the lariat design because it's kind of twisted in the molding. I will look this up, and I will put in text on the video what this is, what all these glasses are, so that y'all will know. Because to be honest, it's starting to rain on me. My hands are cold. My little dog's out here running around. She don't care. She's just happy, and I'll show her here in a minute, y'all. But I got just another couple of things. Y'all know I thrift a lot of old quilts and things. And if it's a quilt in good condition, I resell it. But every now and then, you find a quilt not in good condition. So when I pick up an old quilt that's got a bunch of rips, a bunch of holes, you know, a lot of people would just dump them in the trash, but they still have a lot of uses. So let me show you what I did with this one. And Chanel is guarding me from all the traffic. Sorry, y'all. I cut this quilt up and turned it into Christmas ornaments. Can y'all see that? And I'll make them double-sided, so however they go on the tree works. See, here's another pretty little one. And it's double-sided also. And so those are made with a thrifted quilt, and they're already packaged and ready to go out in my booth, and they'll be going out there tomorrow, y'all. But anyway, that's it for my haul this week. I hope y'all had a good time watching it. And this is Chanel. I've had Chanel 2 weeks now. she's shivering, but she loves to be outside. I'll take her in and get her all warmed up, get her feet dry. But you see, her little top knot's growing. I'll be able to put a bow on her before we know it. And we're gonna keep her cut pretty short for a while anyway, because my yard has sandburrs in them. And if you don't know what sandburrs are, they are a mess in a dog's fur if you've got a long-haired dog. So anyway, this is Chanel. Say hello. Come here. Hey. We're working on training, y'all.
Chanel.
There. Isn't she sweet? And she is just my little constant companion, except when she's barking at people. Well, y'all, let me put her down. All right, go get him. Go get him. And there she goes out to the fence. The delivery driver's been and gone, and she's still letting the world know he was here. Y'all, thanks so much for watching my video. If you're not a subscriber and you enjoyed it, I invite you to subscribe. Ring the bell so you know when I drop another video. It's going to be mostly thrift shopping during this weather. If sometimes we find a good yard sale or an estate sale, but it gets cold here, y'all. Today's one of the warmer days we've had. I think it's about 50, but with the wind chill, it's probably about 40. I do apologize for my noisy little dog. We'll teach her not to bark one of these days, maybe, if we're lucky. Anyway, y'all, this is the season of joy. This is the season of giving. But I know a lot of people have a hard time during this time of year, and there have been years when I had a hard time too. And what got me through those years was just to take 30 seconds. Just take 30 seconds, get someplace by yourself, in your bedroom, in your car, in the bathroom, wherever you gotta get. And just for 30 seconds, if you can just think about one thing that you're thankful for or that's going right in your life, that makes all the difference in your attitude and your outlook. I know it's hard for some of y'all. I know there are people that have lost loved ones and lost jobs, and Lord knows this economy's hard to deal with, y'all, I know. But y'all just try to focus on something positive a little bit each day. I personally believe at this time of the year, it's a time for remembering that we've been given the greatest gift, the gift of hope. And I know everyone doesn't believe like that, and that's okay. But find something to believe in. Find something hopeful and uplifting to believe in, if that's just not your bent, y'all. Well, I love you all. I love all my subscribers. I love hearing from you. Let me know what you think about my snaps. Let me know what your holiday plans are. And until next time, this is Ginger with Ginger Snap Thrifting.